What are the best towns to move to that are on the outskirts of Portland? That is what we're going to talk about today. If you are new here, welcome. My name's Mariah.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are a husband and wife real estate team, and we work with a lot of relocation clients. We get calls, texts, and emails from people like you who are watching our YouTube videos and are thinking about moving to our area all the time, and we absolutely love it. So if that's you, feel free to reach out. I will put our contact information in the description below. So we're just going to read through this list that we have of towns that are all kind of just like suburbs of Portland, more suburban towns on the outskirts. And these are in no particular order of, price point or, I don't know what we think is better.
Best to worst.
Yeah, best to worst. This is very random. So we're just going to share the town and then chat a little bit about each town.
Awesome.
And then move on to the next one. And something I tell a lot of my buyers that are moving here, because a lot of our buyers that are moving here, probably actually more of them than not, don't actually come to our area until after they move here. A lot of them have never been to Oregon, and they never will come to Oregon until after they close on their home. And so making sure you're in the right area is very important. So these are the areas I would say do whatever research you need to do once we give you these towns. So that could look like going onto Google Maps and looking at where, exactly each one is located in proximity to where you're going to work or where you would like to frequent, what schools are like in the area. You can go to schooldigger.com and do that. So do your research, what you can, and we're just going to throw these at you. So
awesome. So
yes.
So are we just gonna say towns and talk about it? Just
we're gonna say towns and then just like briefly talk about them. Okay. We won't go like too in depth, but or this video would get really long because we got a lot of towns here to tell you about. So
okay, cool.
Yes,
let's download it, guys. If you're out there listening and you're out of state, thank you for viewing today's show. Like Mariah was saying, we get tons of clients just like yourselves, and we definitely have systems in place to get you from an offer all the way to the closing table.
Yeah.
And for your comfortability, we have definitely made the process smooth for you.
Yes.
So thank you for viewing in today, and we hope you guys enjoy some of these towns we talk about.
Yes. And one more thing. Sorry, the intro's getting so long. One more thing before we get into the towns finally. These are all on the outskirts of Portland. We do have other videos where we chat about towns on the outskirts of Salem, if that's something that you're interested as well, that are closer, to that area. So head over to our channel. We have a playlist talking all about it, and you can find more information there. So
that's awesome.
Okay, so the first town is Milwaukee. You are right there. You're so close to Portland here. It's very convenient to get to downtown. There's parks everywhere, lots of watery, scenery. It's known for being very safe and centrally located. And this is located just south of downtown Portland. Milwaukee has become very popular over the last few years.
I love Milwaukee. And, Milwaukee, it's attached to like a few surrounding towns that I think about. West Linn comes to mind. The 205 side of Portland comes to mind, which, it's not that you're on an island, but like everything is intertwined. You can get from one town to another from one roadway. Yeah. They are more close in proximity, but things are more packed in dense together. So I've always had a great time in Milwaukee in the West Linn area. I would consider it to be like one of those upscale towns, I would say, in Oregon, because you're not quite into Portland, you're not quite downtown, but you're there, and you still have the seclusion and privacy. But what really gets me that I love is it's not the Columbia River, it's the Willamette River that runs along 205.
It's really beautiful.
So you got great views.
Yes. And just the convenience. Like I said, the convenience to downtown. You're so close. It's such a convenient drive. If you want to be, a really, really quick drive to restaurants, bars, entertainment, you're right there. So Oregon City. This is just south of downtown Portland, only about 13 miles or so away. Does have a little bit of a smaller town feel to it, so you might be able to find some larger lots here than you could in other, other areas of the Portland area.
Yeah, Oregon City, it does have a more history feel to it. They definitely have a really cool downtown vibe going.
Yeah, they have a cool downtown.
That area, you are connected to, I would believe, the cars industry. So, it runs through McLaughlin Boulevard to Gladstone. You cross a bridge just to get there. You are on the opposite side of the river, which is pretty neat. The only thing you do have to consider is the traffic and the bridge crossings and stuff like that. Yeah. But it definitely has more of a historical feel. And you're exactly right. A lot of the lots that I show in Oregon City, they tend to be bigger. And people love that. They really do love that.
That's definitely good to know. Tualatin, this town has a lot of shops. Like, I really like to go there to go shopping. They have restaurants, bars, great shopping. I already said that. You're right next to I-5. So you can head north or you can head south really quick. Another reason I like to go there, being in Salem, easy. You don't have to drive into downtown Portland. It's just like quick, easy drive. It's just I-5. Lots of parks. Lots of trees.
And development.
Lots of great neighborhoods, lots of developments there.
Yeah,
yes.
Schools, development, education. They got a lot going on down there. Their infrastructure, to me, while driving through 217 area, is more fresh. It's a fresher perspective. It's more concrete. It's newer.
Tigard. So this is right there by Tualatin, really, really close. They also have a lot of parks, restaurants, lots of new construction coming up here as well. Lots of families in Tigard, I would say.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I think of. Yeah. Clackamas. So this is going to be over to the east. Clackamas High School is known for being a good school. You're right there on the river here. Clackamas has the Clackamas Town Center, huge mall. I love going there.
Beautiful mall.
Great shopping center right there in Clackamas. Yes.
And are you done with Clackamas?
I'm done with Clackamas unless you're not.
We can't not talk about Clackamas Community College because, it is a benefit and a resource for that surrounding area. It's a community college and it's in state. That's great. You got two really community colleges on the I-5 corridor. You got Salem at Chemeketa, and then we got Clackamas Community College. That's what a lot of students end up gearing towards. If you are in the sports programs, I do know their wrestling program used to be, at least in previous years, top in the country. That's partly why I get to brag about Clackamas.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know that. Yeah. Happy Valley. This is going to be the most affordable of all of these. It is really beautiful here. You'll see larger homes for a little bit lower prices than some of these other suburban towns than we're mentioning. So Happy Valley, but it's also, very convenient, close to all these places, short, convenient drive. That's one thing I love about all these towns is if you live in one, you're very close to another. So it's not like, just because you live there, you can enjoy the things that are in the other town. It's a very short drive. They're not, for the most part, they're pretty close. Yeah. You do have more traffic than we have down here in Salem, but definitely to me, a lot more going on, a lot of options.
It seems like a district to me. I know all these towns have different names that we're kind of mentioning off, but like you can get to each other within 15, 20. Yeah. If you're going from 205 to 217, that's going to be like a 35-minute drive, 40-minute drive. Yeah. But that's like across town. But for the most part, a lot of these communities, they're kind of like intermingled. So they're like really you'll be driving along and then 2-3 miles later, you got another town, but it's all connected. And so what I encourage you guys to do is not necessarily focus on the particular town. If you're into the schools, focus on the schools, whatever you want to be in there. But then focus more about, does the setting work for you? Yeah,
that's good to know. Beaverton. Home of the Nike headquarters. Beaverton doesn't have much of a downtown scene, but there is there's a lot of like bigger shopping area restaurant structures, like those big structures with some shopping and restaurants all there. Great school districts neighboring Hillsboro, so you're also right there. And then next is Hillsboro. This town is growing very quickly.
Yeah, it's further west. I would say Hillsboro it always feels like it's further away than I imagine it.
Yeah,
usually when I get on to 217,
it is further. Yeah,
it's pretty far out west.
Yep, that's true. There's a lot of big tech companies here, a lot of new construction going on. Like I said, it's really growing. It's been ranked number 1 in the most affordable city to live in because of their higher paying jobs and lower paying prices. You're only about an hour or 45 minutes or so from the coast, which is cool.
It's phenomenal. Yeah, and that's another thing that I always talk about it. we are so just spoon fed. We get the coast. We're like
so
45
lucky.
minutes to an hour away from the coast. Well,
Yeah.
Hillsboro is a completely different town. I believe it's seaside, right?
I think so.
That is the coastal town
love
that I say
seaside.
everybody, if you live in Oregon,
Yeah.
that's the one you want to go to. It has definitely the most shopping. It's got the arcade. It's got great views. It's just the atmosphere
summer,
in it. It's
a lot
just
of fun.
terrific.
Yeah.
I believe there's more business that's thriving there with better development and better structures, especially when you talk about hotels and stuff like that. So Hillsboro is one of those towns where you can live and then go do that day beach trip. And like you just said, it was ranked number 1 in affordability. But also, I'm in agreement with that. The high paying jobs are definitely in that area. Big tech companies as well.
Okay, so the last one is West Linn. Some people call this the city of trees. There's so much nature here. One little strip of downtown basically is what you got here. You've got shopping, bars, restaurants, but you're really, really close to Lake Oswego. However, you can get more for your money here than Lake Oswego. Lake Oswego is, it wasn't actually on our list, so we didn't talk about Lake Oswego today, but it is very, very expensive.
It is a
so
connected
West
town, like
Linn,
we were
you're
talking
right
about.
there. You're so close to Lake Oswego, but your home prices aren't quite so pricey.
And I mean, West Linn High School, great sports programs. You're in that 6A division, which most of these schools in these school districts are going to be. If we talk about divisions in high school, that's the most students. That's the student head body count. And they have better infrastructures, I would say. And, a lot of people like these schools due to the sports backgrounds. Personally, I would say out of the list today, my favorite sports.
What's your favorite?
My favorite sports background with the academic side attached to it would be West Linn High School. That's me personally. I do agree with their green. They're the Fighting Lions, I believe, and they simply are competitive year-round and in the majority of their men's and women's sports.
What's your favorite town out of all of these if you had to move somewhere?
My favorite town if I had to move. That actually, I was thinking about that when we were talking about Oregon City. I also do really like West Linn in Milwaukee. Personally, I kind of stay away from the 217 side just because for me, I feel like there's more traffic over there. Yeah. There's always road work happening, which isn't a bad thing, by the way. That's a good thing. They're expanding the roadways and expanding lanes. Yeah. But on both sides of town, you get 217, you get 205. Depending on the time of day, you're gonna hit traffic. The working hours, which you just got to get used to that, and sometimes you just avoid those highways in the end based off the time of day. So.
Yes. And then one more town to throw in there. We didn't include on the list Wilsonville, Oregon. So that
one's just missing. It's
the thing with Wilsonville,
south of Portland.
Yeah, it's if you're going to Wilsonville from Salem, it's all I-5. So you don't drive into the city at all.
Which is nice.
You don't drive off on 205. It's just all I-5, and it's about like a 45-minute drive, straight shot. So you're a little bit closer to Portland there, but. Yeah, so that's Wilsonville. You can check that town out as well. If you watched this video all the way through, thank you. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything. And we'll see you guys next week.